like to get into their transition and get some easy baskets.
And away we go. Ole Miss and Ryder on a Tuesday night on the SEC Network. Ryder with the basketball first. That's Vaughn. He's the former Ole Miss Rebel. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But when you take a look at the Ole Miss starting lineup, you see Robert Allen, Mr. Energy, in. Jarkel Joyner gets the start. He did not start last time out against Mississippi Valley. And here's the Ryder starting lineup. We talked about Murray, but Vaughn, he's the guy that played at Ole Miss last year, a preseason second-team all-conference selection. This year, he's averaging 12.7 rebounds a game. And there you see Demencio. First 4 years at Ryder, then transfers to Ole Miss last year, and now he's back at Ryder. 6 years.
6 years.
You'd have loved to play college basketball for 6 years.
I would love to play 6 years. Ole Miss getting more of their set. I didn't like the first shot they took in the possession the last time.
That's a much better shot.
That's the money man right there, Joyner. He's a great player at 17 feet. He's got good range. That's the shot they need all night.
At 15 in that win against Valley, Jones thought about it. He's the transfer from UNA, and Ryder is on the board. Allen making his third start of the season. And Allen in and out. Hoop just didn't want that one. Ryder in transition. Vaughn pulls up from the right elbow. Allen straight away.
Two good looks by Allen.
Both nearly found a home.
The only thing that concerns me at Ole Miss has been jump shots. They've had 4 possessions and 4 jump shots. You know, I would like to, develop a low post, get the ball inside the Brooks and see what they can do, get their offense going with some better shots.
You see Kermit Davis's resume, mighty impressive, looking for career win number 525. 12 combined NCAA and NIT appearances. Obviously, Kermit and his crew looking to make that 13 this season. Inside, oh, Brooks rejects James. Ryder now under 10 on the shot clock. Powell launches, no. Another offensive rebound and the putback by Demencio Vaughn.
Well, Coach Davis talked in the pregame about they had to do a better job rebounding the basketball than they did the last game against Mississippi Valley. And you saw right there they got hurt again with the rebounding.
Crowley in the corner. 3-ball corner pocket for Jarkel Joyner. Jamin Brickfield will come in. Next dead ball for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss is playing really good defense early in the possession. They've just been hurt on offensive rebounding.
There you see Kevin Baggett. John and I, we helped him find the locker room tonight.
We did.
The Ryder head coach in his 10th season, 16th season on the Ryder staff, 2-time conference coach of the year. And even though it's the MAAC, they go by the MAC. Not to be confused with the MAC with Ball State and
it's a good
Northern Illinois.
It's a good conference. They got
Yes.
some really good quality schools in their league.
Going to go the other way. Foul on Brooks.
You know, that call is called rarely underneath the go where all the beef is and the pushing and shoving, but they get out on the 3-point line or elbow area. That foul's called all the time. I guess the officials can see the big men a lot better there.
Murray misses. Here comes Crowley. Joyner to the rim. Brakefield with the offensive rebound. Joyner fakes the three, pulls up on the baseline. That one hit the heel of the rim. And here comes Murray. Quickly ahead. Nice move by Powell, high off the glass, no. Working hard in, 3 for 10 from the floor. Ole Miss 2 for 7. So neither team is lighting it up, but as you mentioned, John, the rebounding edge, 8-4 for Ryder. Half of those on the glass, offensive glass, that is. Brooks. Seems to be a lid on the bucket right now for Ole Miss. Now 2 for 8.
Ryder's doing a good job of taking care of the basketball. You know, Ole Miss in the past few games has anticipated and had a lot of run-through steals. And there you go, once again, crashing the boards. They got to put a body on somebody. You just can't get in a jumping game and, you know, put your body on him and make him come over the back.
Brooks leaves. Robert Allen back in for Ole Miss. Yeah, we got a couple old school guys here calling this game tonight. It's all about, remember, boxing out.
Boxing out.
Yes.
Establishing the low post on offense, feeding the post. It just opens up your game more. You go in, you kick it back out, and you get the defense has to start sagging. It's a good look right there.
Allen inside from Fagan. And the Rebels retake the lead. Ty Fagan in on that timeout. He wears number 14. Stuck around afterwards after the game on Friday to shoot some extras, and then I got here about 2.5 hours before the broadcast, and he was out here shooting then as well. On the other end, the pull-up in and out. Boy, that thing was nearly down for Nehemiah Benson, who just came into the game. Brakefield. Matthew Morrell in, number 11 for Ole Miss. Here's Fagan. He'll drive hard to the rim, try to get it to Allen, knocked away. Turnover for the Rebs, and here come the Bronx.
Ole Miss did too much standing on offense in the last possession. The ball would never reverse to the weak side, and you just had the players dribbling, no movement.
See what Joyner will do here. Pull up 16-footer, rattled in and out.
Those are Joyner shots there, you know. He makes a living from those 17, 18-foot range. They'll start falling.
O.G. Muno back in for Ryder. Kermit Davis hanging on right now to a 7-6 lead. Brakefield out to Joyner. 5 on the shot clock. Brakefield will pull up from three-point land. Tipped by Allen. Rebels now 3 for 11. Ryder 3 for 13. It's a warm night here in Oxford, but a little cold shooting so far inside the Sandy and John Black Pavilion. %, right now for Ole Miss shooting, 23% for Ryder.
Well, Ole Miss has had, both teams have had good shots, have had good looks at the basket. They just haven't gone down.
This is a Ryder team that basically led South Carolina for the first 3 quarters of that game on Sunday in Columbia. Oh, what a dish. O.G. Muno with the flush.
Dribble penetration, penetrate, suck your big man up, and then give it off for an easy basket.
And when you're not hitting the shots, go inside. If they're not falling. Brakefield. Down low. Allen. No. Brakefield got it swatted by O.G. Muno. And I think it's going to be Jiri O.G. Muno with the foul, and here's his dunk.
Well, Brakefield rotated over to stop the dribble drive, and Ole Miss's weak side defender did not drop down. And it's just defensive rotation breakdown on that play.
Brakefield at the line, did not start against Valley. Played 17 minutes, had 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. He's a 69% free throw shooter on the year from Jackson, Mississippi. He does have 4 starts. He's got a career-high 16 against Elon. He's 3 for 4 that day from three-point line. That was the Rebels' only win up in Charleston. McKeithen is in, number 3, Corey McKeithen out of Windsor, Connecticut. The sophomore guard. He's got the basketball right now. Tries to spin on Joyner. And a near steal by Morrell. Shot clock violation. Trailing by 1. Lost on Sunday against SEC foe South Carolina and Columbia. It was tight all the way to the end. Allen misses. Coach Baggett was telling us coming into the arena tonight that they just haven't been able to finish the deal. They've been close in a couple big games this year, and they just haven't been able to finish it. That's been their Achilles heel. They're hoping to finish it tonight. Well, there's a steal. Crowley, and that is a big-time flush for Austin Crowley.
Well, that's what Ole Miss has to do. You know, they're a good defensive team. They got to create open court turnovers and then finish on the other end. You know, they're not, so far this year, they haven't been a great half-court run their sets. And the last 2 possessions, they had a steal, and Ryder had a shot clock violation, and then right there's another steal.
Here's Crowley, his first shot of the night. That's a high percentage when they're...
Very high percentage.
He had a big smile all the way down the court, too. Maybe that'll ignite this Ole Miss offense. Out of West Point, Mississippi, out of the Golden Triangle. Crowley with the basketball. He'll give to Rodriguez. Under 11 minutes left in the first half. It's been tight the whole way, folks. Morrell in the lane. Try to find Brooks. It was off the mark and a steal by James. Here's McKeithen. Murray can't get the shot off. Ojimuno misses. Brakefield battling for the rebound, but James comes away with it. Mervyn James out of the U.S. Virgin Islands. And what do you think the early take on for Coach Baggett?
Well, they do a good job of taking care of the basketball in the half court. They run some good sets. They go east to west with the ball. They're taking care of it. Missed some shots early. But I can see why they're in all these games and why they played South Carolina so close.
The lob and the flush. How about that pass by Joyner, and Brooks puts it away.
I keep saying it over and over, but you have a 7-footer you need to utilize him offensively on the court. It's going to make the guards much better as the game goes on because the other teams will have to start sagging. Good pass by Ryder right there.
Nice backdoor cut by Murray, and as you mentioned, a great assist. We're back to a 3-point game. Crowley, he's 2 for 2.
Ryder coach asking for a moving screen right there. There was some activity. Could have been easily been called.
James spitting in the lane, no, and Brooks with a rebound. The outlet to Brakefield. Oh, nice move. Down the lane, missed it. Offensive rebound, that got swatted by James, I believe. There's some elevation in this game. Vaughn is back in.
It was a great back screen by Rodriguez there and threw over the top.
Brooks' first bucket. Like Crowley, there was dunks.
Well, good inside screen. Like I said, the basketball fan sees the dunk in the pass, but they don't notice the screen that was being set that made the play.
Robert Allen made that play, and it's a 7-point lead for the Rebels. Murray will play most of the game. He played all 40 minutes against South Carolina on Sunday. Averages 37 minutes a night. Powell thought about hoisting from 3. Now he'll get around Crowley. The teardrop, no, but a blocking foul on Ole Miss. It's going to be on Joyner. And to the free throw line is Alan Powell, the junior guard out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He had 11 points Sunday in that near win at South Carolina.
They're having a little southern swing here with 2 SEC schools in 3 days.
It was a 65-58 loss on Sunday, but as I mentioned, they led for most of the first 28 minutes. South Carolina scored the first bucket. I think Rider scored the next 11, and they led for almost the first 30 minutes Sunday. Powell averaging 8 points, 1.5 rebounds a game.
Picking up 3/4 court press. Rider is here. Well, I say that, and it looks like it's been a kind of a matchup zone, sagging man.
And a whistle. Give Rodriguez the bucket and the foul.
Once again, Will, they go inside, and you have a cutter to the basket, an easy basket. Nice pass by Brooks. Wasn't much to that foul there.
I think the Rider head coach, Kevin Baggett, asking that same question.
Yeah, same question. We both had the same view, and I didn't see a whole lot.
Rodriguez misses the free throw. A 50% free throw shooter on the year, but he gets this offensive rebound. Brooks, stolen. Murray knocked it away.
Can't dribble. You're 7 foot, 2 feet from the basket. Put the shot up. Not a point guard.
No, you bring that ball down, and now you give everybody a chance to swipe. What a difficult shot by Alan Powell. Wow, high degree of difficulty there. Joyner with a terrific look. Back of the iron. Brooks, though, has the offensive rebound. Morrell from the right wing. Allen with the rebound. Joyner to the rim. And he cannot convert.
Ole Miss had a spurt on offense. They got the 4 or 5 point lead. Other than that, it's been a contested game either way.
Murray had 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in that game against South Carolina. But he missed the second free throw. Here's Joyner. Rodriguez. 10 on the shot clock. Rebels hanging out of the perimeter. And a steal by Vaughn. And Vaughn, it'll be a jump ball. Ryder was trying to call timeout. Ty Fagan back in for Ole Miss. There you see Coach Baggett, 10th year. St. Joe's grad.
Ryder went to a matchup zone defense and that kind of confused Ole Miss, and they just played around the perimeter then. They didn't penetrate the paint. They didn't pass the ball into the paint, and the defense matched up real well with them.
Backdoor cut again. Oh, and Davencio Vaughn tried to slam it. He missed it, but here he's got the steal, the pull-up. That one will not fall as well. Here's Joyner into the front court. Under 6.5 minutes left in the first half, and it's just 19-15, but it's now 22-15 thanks to that 3 by Morrell.
Morrell is a good-looking athlete. He's got a great shot. Good form. He gets up on the elevates well, follow-throughs, good ball rotation. I just think he needs to just be more aggressive on offense, and it's kind of like he's laid back and just plays not every possession offensively. Does a good job of moving his feet on defense there.
Fadeaway by Mervyn James. Joyner to Allen. And free throws coming up for the transfer from Sanford.
Good looking shot. He stayed with it. You watch his follow through, how he holds it. Good rotation.
That's how you draw it up. You're a longtime coach. That's how you taught your players. Allen makes the first. Jiri Ojemuno back in. The 6'8", 210-pound graduate student from Delta State, Nigeria. They reach in.
Got foul on Allen.
That's right,
on the post for holding.
That's 2 on Allen. And Brooks will come in replacing Allen. Talked to him after the win against Valley on Friday. Said thought the team was starting to gel a little bit better in that second half. He was hoping to see some more improvement tonight. Right now, Allen and the Rebels lead it by 8. Fagan, 2 on 3. No problem, says Fagan.
Well, Ole Miss has 3 transfers on the court right now. They all came from Power 5 schools, Miami and Georgia and Duke. And you saw the experience those guys had on defensive end of the court.
Ojemuno converts down low. He's got 6 to lead Ryder. Field. Joyner, the kick to Fagan. Weak side rebound by Brooks. He's banging inside, and he's got 2 free throws coming up.
I would like to see Brooks go right back up with it off that offensive rebound. Good job right here. Fagan all the way. Ryder's got to slide over and stop the basketball. You can't get that much deep penetration.
Good look at Fagan. Scored a lot of points. Had a really good field goal percentage. 56% from the floor in 89 games at Georgia. And he started 25 of 26 a season ago for the Bulldogs.
Had a good career at Georgia. Good solid player. No free throw line biting you right now.
And until that Rodriguez miss, going back to last game, Ole Miss had made its last 9 free throws. But yeah. Whoa! Nasir Brooks. That 3 is off the mark by Morrell. Nice save by Ole Miss. Break field inside. No. Man, did everything but convert. Here's Murray. James. Nothing but nylon.
It's like a 4-point play right there. Ole Miss fought it really hard and missed a couple layups, and they give up a quick basket on the other end of the court.
Fagan straight away. Brooks. Joyner wide open.
Once again, I'd like to see Brooks go right back up with it. You're the biggest man on the floor, and you're 2 to 3 feet from the basket.
James misses the 3. Joyner with the left hand. When LSU won the big game at Walt Hemingway Stadium, right next door to us here at the Pavilion. The Sandy and John Black Pavilion. Under 3 minutes left in the first half. Murray. That's a hard shot. Brakefield with the rebound. Crowley. Rebels 2 for 9 from three-point land. So Crowley goes to the rim. He misses.
Got to go up stronger. That was a good move, a good dribble penetration, but you got to finish strong on the weak side.
McKeithen to Powell. He launches the three, and Brakefield climbing on that one. He's got 4 rebounds. Brooks leads the way with 7. Fagan with the offensive board. There's a good look by Morrell, and Morrell with his second 3 of the night.
I'm telling you, he's got it, you know, he's a very good athlete, and he gets up on his three-point shot well, strong.
That first 3 by Morrell a few moments ago, his first since that November 12th game that we called against Charleston Southern. He's now 4 for 12 on the year from distance. Ten on the shot clock. Murray. James over Brooks. No. Rebound by Benson. He will launch the 3. No. That's the 27th rebound tonight for Ole Miss. They entered the game averaging 38 a game.
Well, I think the last 3 days of practice, it's been, you know, emphasis on rebounding the basketball. Here in the last couple minutes, it's been good. And you see the 3-point shot by Morrell there.
Currently the Rebels with a +9 edge in rebounding. They entered with a season +3.5 average. So Fagan, boy, the free throws. They're now 3 for 8, the Rebels. That's 37.5%. Vaughn is in. McKeithen will leave for Ryder. Fagan had 4 points, 4 boards, and an assist in 17 minutes Friday against Mississippi Valley. It was his first start as an Ole Miss Rebel. He's a 33% free throw shooter on the year. He splits those 2, though, and Ole Miss with its largest lead at 12, 31-19. Ryder led South Carolina at half on Sunday. They trail here by 12. James with the and one. It's a good move by Mervyn James.
Dribble penetration, Ryder does a good job of that. Several different players that have broken Ole Miss down right there. Little tap there, same way that Colin earlier in the court. I didn't see a lot there. Let him play. Can't slap down if you're a big man.
Allen is back in replacing Fagan. You talked about the referees, failed to mention them. We've got Tony Green, Robert Felder, and Jerry Heater tonight. James, he had a huge game against Bucknell. 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. He was 8 of 14 from the field that night. That's a big 3-point play for Ryder. They're back within single digits. Who's going to finish strong here in the first half? Under a minute left. Allen, double team. Crowley launches, misses the 3. On the other end, Murray hoists and hits.
6-point ball game.
The old-fashioned 3-point play and then a 3-point bucket. And as you mentioned, John, we've got a 6-point game. Joyner hit a buzzer beater against Valley to end the first half.
He won't tonight because he's not in the game at the moment.
Not in the game tonight, though, but Crowley pulls up.
Ole Miss went too early on the shot clock because they could have ran it down to the buzzer.
And stop that. But Ole Miss with the basketball first. Will Kohlmeyer, John Stroud. Our director, David Dillard, producer, Jim Holder, and the rest of our SEC Network crew. Glad you're spending your Tuesday night with us. And an over and back, boy. Not the way Kermit Davis wanted to start this second half, but
too much dribbling there with Joyner. They didn't have very little ball movement. Brooks had his man sealed inside. It'd been a good quick pass. He had a layup. Then he started backpedaling, and Ryder reacted with the double team. Good defensive play with Ryder.
Yeah, Kevin Beggett, the head coach, jumped off the bench immediately and was starting to applaud. So Ryder's first trip down offensively here in the second half. Inside, Ojimuno with the miss, and Brooks with another rebound. He's got 8 now on the night to lead all players. Brakefield shy on that three-point try. Clock continues to now the shot clock under 10. Joyner. Crowley. He'll have to hoist from the top of the wheel, and he misses. And a shot clock violation against Ole Miss. Kermit Davis imploring his team.
Well, it's just been 2 possessions of poor half-court execution on their half-court offense. It's been all dribbling and not even movement. It's like they're trying to run a set play and not all 5 guys know what's going on. They've got to get down and get transition defense, get some easy baskets, get their team going.
Vaughn, 1 for 7 in the first half in his return to Ole Miss. Ojimuno misses. Brooks had a factor in that one.
It was a big factor in that.
Joyner got it knocked away. Brakefield back to Joyner. Try to get Brooks down low. And a nice save by the Bronx. And the lay-in by Mervyn James. The Bronx beat the Rebels down the court.
Well, this did a poor job of getting back on defense then. It's like they were trying to referee and try to, the ball's out of bounds or whatever, and they didn't get back on defense.
Crowley in and out.
Good looking shot by Crowley, just didn't go in.
Ryder trying to make it a 1-score game. Strong move by James, knocked away by Rodriguez. Rodriguez just 2 points in the first half. Joyner now 3 for 10 from the floor. Powell pulls up.
Well, we're seeing exactly what we saw in the first half. Just cold shooting by both teams. A little too many, for me, a little bit too many jump shots by both teams. They're not taking the ball to the glass and trying to draw a foul. When your shots are not going down, get to the free throw line.
We talked about that in the first half. And Kermit Davis.
Both teams are playing good defense, or you say both teams are shooting the ball bad. I think it's a combination of both.
Matthew Morrell. He had a couple threes in the first half, missed that one, but there's Fagan on the weak side. Fagan with 5. And the Rebels lead is 6. Rebels have done a nice job on Murray, just 6 points tonight for Murray. There's some physical play inside. And here comes Joyner and the Rebels. Robert Allen will go to the free throw line. He landed awkwardly. And he looks like he's in some pain. He's taking his time. Yeah, it looked like he landed awkwardly. You see him limping.
Well, Allen's the key. He does the little things for Ole Miss. He rebounds well. He plays good defense. He runs the court. He makes extra pass. And in a game like tonight, when you're not shooting the ball well, not playing very good offense, he's a big part of the team.
He had a season-high 11 points against Mississippi Valley. I like his energy.
Yes.
He just brings so much energy. We talked about that after the win against Valley. Said he's always been that kind of guy. And boy, he had a great career at Samford, and then it's been a big plus for Kermit Davis. Back at Samford, He had 11 double-doubles, averaged 12 points, about 7.5 rebounds a game in 2 seasons with the Bulldogs. We'll see Samford coming to Ole Miss. We'll have that game, John, you and I, on the 21st of December. So the Rebels have it back out to 8.
Samford got by with a double dribble on that play. I said Samford. I meant Ryder got me thinking about Samford. Got by with a good block team and got a good coach, and they talk on defense. They rebound the basketball.
Let's see. Oh, they were looking for Brooks inside, a possible alley-oop.
They had the inside screen again. They just didn't see it.
Allen will swing it around to Joyner. Look at Allen inside, over 3, Bronx.
You got to put your body on Allen because he's a tireless worker. Continually, hits the backboard.
Trying to get inside to Ojimuno, but Brooks is right there. He's got all 3 blocks tonight for Ole Miss, and he forces the traveling violation on Ryder.
Well, when you have a 7-footer on you, you really don't need to dilly-dally with the ball too long. You need to get it and get rid of it fast. Quicker release. There you see Allen hitting the backboard over 3 defenders.
Yeah. The line so far for Brooks tonight, 2 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 2 assists. He's also up to 9 offensive rebounds in the last 2 games out of 19 total. So he's crashing the board just like Allen is. Morrell in the corner. Fagan thought about it. Now he'll launch from the left wing. Under 15 minutes left. Neither team lighting it up here in the second half. Powell misses the 3, and Allen with another rebound. He's got 6 tonight. Joyner to Brooks. And a turnover for the Rebels. Number 9, I believe. Check that, 8. No, it is 9. 9 for Ole Miss, 8 for Ryder. It was 31-25 at halftime, and yes, Ryder with a scoring drought now of almost 4 minutes. Remember, they scored the first bucket to cut it to 4, and they haven't scored now in over 4 minutes.
Tough shot there. Good defense by Ole Miss. Good defensive rebounding.
Yeah, that was McClone that missed. Jalen McClone. Fagan high off the glass. The ball is just hanging on the rim and just deciding just to fall off. Ojimuno. Fagan climbs for his 7th board of the night. Brooks for the 2nd straight night has 10 rebounds. He had 15 points though the other night. Brooks with just 2 tonight. Allen got it stripped by McClone, and a foul is going to be on Jalen McClone. So Allen to the free throw line.
The referee's kind of generous there. That was a foul several feet away from the basket. I'm sure Ole Miss will take that. Wholesale substitutions coming in.
I see Rodriguez, Crowley, and Brakefield for Ole Miss. I see Vaughn, McKeithen, and I think Benson, number 35, is in. Allen coming in, averaging 6 points, 5 rebounds. That would have given him double figures if he would have made that one.
Ryder gone to a 5-out on offense now. Just a lot of passing, cutting, dribble driving.
That was Murray hanging out in the land of the Giants, the 6', 180-pound senior. Preseason first team all-conference. He's had double digits in all 8 games so far this year, but tonight he has 6, just 2 of 6 shooting, 1 of 4 from distance. He's now 2 for 3 from the free throw line.
Ryder's gone to a smaller lineup now. No Miss has gone a bit smaller also. One of the reasons they opened their offense up with a 5-out.
Both coaches trying to adjust, trying to make something happen. Morrell, they're doing what you told them to do, John. They're starting to go strong to the hoop and trying to get some free throws.
Well, good things happen when you take the ball to the basket, especially north-south. You know, go to the goal, get the big man off his feet, make something happen, because your shooting is not very well tonight. So get to the free throw line, layups and free throws.
Rebels 31% from the floor, just 3 of 18 from 3. Ryder 27% from the floor. They're just 1 of 10 from distance. And Morrell misses. Rebels now 7 of 14 from the free throw line. Morrell, a 70% free throw shooter on the year, averaging 5 points, 2.5 rebounds a game. Also an assist and a half per outing for Kermit Davis. Rebels now lead by 11. Vaughn can't convert, but 2 more free throws for Ryder. Brooks picks up his 3rd foul for Ole Miss. So here's Demencio Vaughn from New York City. Preseason 2nd team all-conference selection. Had 23 points and 9 rebounds earlier this year against Coppin State. And there you see Vaughn, the first 4 years at Ryder, more than 1,200 points, 565 rebounds. Look at all those steals. You can see why he was a 2-time first team All-MAC, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
As we talked earlier, he's a 6-year player. He had 4 years at Ryder, and he came to Ole Miss for 1 year. Now he's back at Ryder. So,
all right, let's try to figure something out, John. You played, you're the all-time leading scorer at Ole Miss, 3rd all-time in the SEC. Just think if you played 6 years. Yeah. You could have hung with Pete Maravich. There's Crowley inside.
The problem with Maravich, he scores 4,000 points in 3 years with no shot clock and no 3-point shot.
Oh my goodness.
Try that on for size there.
Yeah. Tough shot. Look at Murray. 10-point game. Crowley in the corner. Morrell. Brakefield inside.
Can't shooting when you're shooting lows or continuing like Ole Miss, you've got to help. And I talk about their defense, and they give up a wide open driving layup.
That was the former Rebel, Demencio Vaughn. On the other end, Crowley converts.
I just think Ole Miss needs to play faster and get shots like that. They get locked in on half-court offense. They're just not strong enough to run a good half-court offense at the moment.
James working strong inside. Allen with the rejection. And another miss. The rebound by Rodriguez. And Crowley will wait for his teammates. Or will he? He hoists from 3. No, but Rodriguez cannot follow with the jam.
Got to have that. That was a great offensive rebound. Just got to finish.
Powell on Morrell. Kicked, picked up by James, and he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Didn't see a whole lot there on that foul. Just don't know.
James now 2 for 2 tonight at the free throw line. Ryder 7 for 10. Fagan is in, Morrell is out. That block by Allen a few moments ago. Ole Miss now with 4 blocks tonight. Their season high is 5 against Boise State. Ojimuno is back in, replacing James. He's got 6 points, 4 rebounds in 17 minutes.
The Ryder going back to matchup zone. It's man-to-man in your area, then they're passing player zone. But you see how open them. And that's exactly what you want the other team to do on offense, and made the 3 there.
Yeah, Brakefield dials it up from distance. Vaughn on Joyner. They did that a few times at practice last year. The miss, and Allen with another rebound. He's getting close to a double-double tonight. Fagan down low to Allen. And Robert Allen, 2 more free throws for Allen.
They skipped the ball against this matchup zone. Good looking shot in the break field there. When you skip the pass, makes the defense work even harder. But I was saying Allen's having a very good night on both ends of the court. He's just playing strong.
He makes the first free throw. He's got 11 points and 8 rebounds. 2 of those were on the offensive glass. He's got 2 assists, a block, and a steal. Not bad in 18 minutes.
I don't know where Ole Miss has made 2 free throws in a row tonight or not.
I don't know either. Nine of 17 now from the free throw line for Ole Miss, 53%. Down low, Ojimuno, and he'll go to the free throw line. It's turned into a free throw affair. Ojimuno had 7 points, 9 rebounds against South Carolina. Comes in 6 points, 8.5 rebounds a game.
Well, Brooks of Ole Miss is on the bench with 3 fouls, and I think Ryder's taking advantage of that by going inside these last couple of possessions.
Yeah, Brooks, I'm sorry.
Allen and Brakefield both, 6'8", 6'9", but they're not that big presence down low to block shots. Back to a 10-point game.
Brooks has 11 rebounds. Last time a Rebel had 15 plus was Sebastian Saez against Georgia Tech back in 2017. Crowley in the corner, Joyner, and ring up a 3 for Jarkel Joyner.
With all players, you cannot leave Joyner open like that. That's what their coach is talking about. Good team defense. You leave Ole Miss's leading scorer open.
Vaughn over Fagan. Under 9 minutes left. Joyner this time from the right corner, and the same results. Back-to-back trays.
It's a 14-point game now. Just to make a couple shots, how you widen the lead. Makes everybody play a little bit better.
Powell, nice counter punch from distance for Ryder. Yeah, Ole Miss was 4 of 21 from 3, and then back-to-back threes for Joyner, and now they're 6 of 23. Crowley tried to get it down low to Allen, and a turnover for the Rebels.
If Crowley would just improve the passing angle a little bit more and throw a bounce pass in there, he had him sealed for an easy layup.
I was just going to ask you, it's all about angle, isn't it? A lot of times with passing.
You got to get angles.
Powell. A near steal for Ole Miss. Brakefield has it at midcourt, and here's Crowley. Joyner, does he have the hat trick? You bet he does. 3 straight threes for Jarkel Joyner. Well, he has flipped the script quickly for Ole Miss, leading now by 14. Vaughn misses on that 3, but he gets his own offensive rebound. Off the glass for 2 for Vaughn. He's got 9. Joyner, a little heat check on that when he missed it, but there's Fagan to clean up. It's 11 in a row dating back to last year and 13 of the last 14. Can you say consistent?
That's, the mark of a good player is consistency. I've said that all my life, and, when you can count on a player every night to do the same thing, shows how good a player he is.
He sure is. Benson misses that 3. Brooks is back in. Doing a little dribbling. Way out. Crowley inside with the lay-in. Danger time for Ryder. Down by 16, 6.5 minutes left. Powell, shot clock under 10. Oh, nice dish to Oji Muno.
Good half-court offense by Ryder there. Ole Miss overhelped and didn't rotate on the backside.
Oji Muno now in double figures with 10. Joyner misses this one. He gets his own offensive rebound. And the foul on Murray, so Joyner will go to the line. That looks like Sean Toohey to John Stroud back in the day. How about that?
It was back in the day, all right.
Sean Toohey told me, I think a year or 2 ago, he said, you love to shoot. You never saw a shot you didn't like, and that he didn't think you ever shared a salt shaker at the dinner table. Well, where's Sean coming from that?
I played 6 feet and in, so you catch the ball that close to the basket.
You got to turn around.
The coach doesn't want you to pass the ball. That's why I see these big guys tonight getting offensive rebounds from at the 2-foot range, and they pass it back out to a 20-footer.
Yeah, that's funny. Do you share the salt and pepper shakers at the table?
Yes, I pass it.
Okay, you do pass. Okay.
Not the salt, though.
No,
it's not
there
good for you.
Well, you got to be health conscious, yeah. Joyner converts. 16-point game. He'll leave. Nice applause by the Rebel fans here tonight at the Pavilion. The Sandy and John Black Pavilion at Ole Miss. Ryder down by 16. Under 6 minutes left. Murray. Brakefield with a rebound. He's got 8 on the night. Crowley thought about the 3. And the Rebels will set it up. What are you looking for in the final 5.5 minutes here tonight, John? Well, first a Brakefield 3. That makes it 19.
Well, it's just Ole Miss has found their offensive rhythm now, and they're getting what they want. Players are more confident. I think that a shot like this early in the game, it wouldn't be 19 points. But, give credit to Ryder, hung around for 30 minutes.
Just like they did Saturday, or I should say Sunday at South Carolina. Inside, James misses. Brooks with the rebound. He's got 13. Crowley, the lob inside to Morrell. And a foul on Ryder. Ole Miss now at 48 team rebounds tonight. Last time Ole Miss broke 50 was against Tennessee back in 2017. Wow. That's been a while. Vaughn back in. He'll replace Murray for Ryder. Morrell 1 for 2 tonight at the free throw line. He's got 7 points. 6 of those have come on 2 3-pointers.
You wouldn't have thought 10 minutes ago it would be a 20-point game.
No, not at all.
Just goes to show you how the three-pointers add up quickly.
Joyner hit those 3 threes in a row, and I mean, it just blossomed that lead for Ole Miss. Kevin Baggett was telling us they just need to finish. They haven't finished this year in big games. They're going to have to pull off a big-time finish if they want to pull off the upset here tonight in SEC country. Another miss. Ryder now 31% from the field. Ole Miss has got it up to 39%. Stripped by McKeithen. Ole Miss will inbound it with 21 on the shot clock. Kevin Baggett mentored the 2008 NBA lottery pick, Jason Thompson. He's done a nice job in his career. And there's Fagan, speaking of a nice job. How about that baseline move?
That's a nice Euro step there by Fagan.
That's 14 rebounds for Brooks. Morrell steps into a 3.
There was about 12 minutes left in the game.
Foul in trouble, and here's the steal by Morrell. Oh! How about windmill in one home?
I'll be on the highlight tape the rest of this year.
Oh my goodness. You practice that a lot?
I didn't know it existed back when I played. Dr. J may have done that.
Dr. J, yeah.
We're going way back.
Yes, we are. We're turning the clock back. Crowley. Brooks. And he'll go to the free throw line, but wow. Let's look at this again. Morrell almost turned it over there, but that's a 10, right?
That's a 10.
He loved it. Bam. We can only dream about that. We did not have that game. How about Brooks, the way he's got 15 rebounds. That ties his career high. Most by a Rebel since we talked about Sebastian Syed doing that back in 2017 against Georgia Tech. And Morrell, his night is most likely done. 14 points.
Rebounding is just pretty much effort, just going to the basketball. It's like a fumble in football. It's a loose ball above the rim. If you want it, you're given with 7 foot, 7'1".
James White is in, number 5 for Ole Miss. Also the birthday boy, Sammy Hunter. Well, I guess he had his birthday a couple days ago for Ole Miss. He wears number 23. Eric Vander Heiden, number 0, is in there as well. So Kermit Davis emptying his bench. There's Vander Heiden. And a turnover out by midcourt with 2:39 left. And one for Ryder. That is Nehemiah Benson. White picks up the foul.
That's what, Coach Davis, makes some substitutions. The freshman in the game, and one of them has a turnover to half court, and the other one has a foul on a layup. The last 2 things you want are turnovers and fouls.
Our next SEC storied film, The Trials of Bobby Hoppe, premieres Thursday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. It's the story of the 1957 Auburn National Champion football team and that dark secret that star running back Bobby Hoppe kept for more than 30 years. It's a fascinating story that you won't want to miss. That's our next SEC storied film. So here's Benson trying to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. Misses, but Ryder will reset. fresh 20 now for the Bronx. Vanderheiden with the block.
With two-hand block.
Yes. Out of Raleigh, North Carolina, the freshman. Slatton. Grant Slatton, the freshman from Sparta, Tennessee, is in. He was the number 6 prospect in Tennessee. Runner-up this past year in Mr. Basketball in Class 3A in Tennessee. Blown will go to the free throw line. That foul is on Vanderheiden.
0, Eric Vanderheiden is first.
Tennessee Slatton.
16 points.
Looking for his first points as an Ole Miss Rebel. Look at Brooks. Nice here, Brooks. 15 rebounds tonight. Most by a Rebel since 2017. We talked about rebounding, effort. First from your 7 feet, that helps as well.
But there's been some games early this year that he's only hit 3 or 4 or 5 rebounds in the entire game. So,
right.
You know, something's clicked in practice. You know, go to 15, just playing harder, anticipating.
Well, you did your homework. That's why you said that he was going to be our featured player tonight. Coming off that double-double, the first of the year for Ole Miss, 15 and 10 against Valley. Crowley misses. Hunter was trying to get that offensive rebound. Benson slides out of bounds. It'll be Ole Miss basketball with $1:56 left. Just the 5th time ever that Ole Miss has squared off against a school from the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. They're 3-1 coming in. They'll be 4-1 in just under 2 minutes. Slatton from distance, off the mark. McClone.
McClone scores for the Rebels.
Crowley staying in. And he's going to get a screen from Hunter. And they'll swing it back to Sammy Hunter for 3. Jordan Small into the game. The basketball there, the sophomore from Jonesboro, Georgia. Under a minute left, and a timeout just to bring in John McBride, the junior from Memphis, Tennessee. And the Rebel student section loving it. Played 4 games last year. A winter academic honor roll in 2020. Love to see when the walk-ons get in, don't you, John?
Yes, I do. And McBride's been in the program for this is his 3rd year as a walk-on. I like to see those guys play.
Yes. See if they try to set him up. Well, traveling violation. And that was too bad because Slatton had his first points as a Rebel. Nullified on the turnover. Ryder, 258 wins in the last 15 years. That's second to only to Iona in the MAC. They'll be at Iona next time. It'll be Rick Pitino. They had a big win the other day, knocked off number 10 Alabama. And here's McBride. They'll just let McBride dribble it out.
Knowing he'd like to take a jump shot right now.
And the fans are encouraging it as well. What was your biggest takeaway tonight, John?
Oh, just the second half. Just the second half. You know, just finally got their offensive game going.